Yeah, and kind of moving over now, to player and pitcher of the week. I mean, big story there. I'll let you get into it, but I think it was our first national player of the week of the year. So go ahead and get in there.
Yeah, um, Davis Collie, he was our player of the week. Not, I mean, I would have to check the other player that was in the discussion for it because he was actually there was actually like potentially two guys that could have won National Player of the Week. Like it was awesome. But Davis Collie, he won our Player of the Week, and like I said, won National Player of the Week. He was 15 for 20, had three home runs all in one game, three doubles, and then 21 RBIs with 14 runs scored. Is kind of what did it. I feel like the 21 RBIs is crazy. I've never seen a tally that high as long as I've been writing these stories. But then seven walks, and he also swiped two bags. Yeah, just a crazy, crazy week. I mean, he's one of the more physical left-handed bats in the state, and he's got some polish with the feel to hit. So no surprise that he, put together the week that he did. But then Zane Caves, over at Manuka, kind of, going off Drew. This Manuka team's really good, and this in part because of the rotation they have. And Zane Caves, I mean, he shoved against one of the better lineups in the entire state, Lincoln Way West. He fired a complete game shutout, 7 innings with just one hit allowed. So, I mean, a one-hitter against Lincoln Way West, that lineup, that's super impressive. He only walked one and he struck out 9. So, seems like he's kind of coming into his form now. I mean, coming off basketball season, it might take, takes those guys maybe a couple weeks or so to really find their footing, but it seems like he's, full form now.
Yeah, and just a couple nuggets now from the Diamond notes that I saw. Will Graba from Frem threw a 5 inning perfect game with 9 strikeouts and only needed 56 pitches. Martin Ledbetter from Hinkley Big Rock went 7 for 9 with 12 RBIs, 8 runs scored, 3 homers, 2 doubles, 2 triples, and 2 walks on the week. And then normal U Highs right-handed pitcher Ethan Keyser, he's a 2025, threw 6.1 innings, struck out 10, walked 2, and allowed 5 hits. And then on the season, he's 2-0 with a sub-1 ERA, 27 strikeouts, only 7 walks, and a sub-1 whip. So good stuff from him, and U-High is off to a good start like we mentioned earlier, Drew. But yeah, Def or Drew, if you guys have anything else, feel free.
Well, the guy that I was mentioning earlier, JT Augustiniak from Plainfield Central, he was the one that was kind of like him or Collie, but ultimately Collie ended up taking it. But the thing with him, he had 9 doubles on the week, which that's like a crazy number as well. But yeah, he's going to Kaskaskia. He had a walk off, or not? Sorry, not a walk off. I'm sorry.
Well,
fourth,
it was,
oh,
I
it was a grand
think,
slam.
which is it caught me off guard too, Pete, when I was reading that as well.
Yeah, it was a walk off grand slam against Westmont, but he led the team in all hitting categories. 13 hits, a walk, 9 doubles, a triple, a home run, 11 RBIs, and 11 runs scored with a stolen base. So great week for JT.
And he's long been a performer for Plainfield Central, impacting that varsity club since he was an underclassman. I know one guy that's in our mix here is John Rosner, the former head coach at Plainfield Central, so he keeps us kind of in the mix and all that. And I wanted to say he mentioned that Augustiniak was close to breaking some sort of career hit record or something at Plainfield Central. So maybe next week I'll have a little more information on that if I can dig into that. But man, there were a lot of guys that caught my eye. I love doing the player of the week and getting the submissions because then we get all these guys that don't win but deserve a ton of love. Like, these guys that don't win are still putting up video game numbers. Like Joey Aaron for St. Charles East, he's a two-way. I would imagine a two-way commit for Xavier, and they'll just kind of see where he fits because I love the left-handed swing. I love the left-handed arm on the mound, but at the plate, he went 7 for 13 on the week, which, that's hitting over 500. That caught my eye. He walked 4 times, but what did it for me was the guy stole 12 bases in 1 week. You see guys do that for an entire season. So stealing 12 bases in a week I thought was pretty stupid. And then on the mound, he went 4 1/3 and struck out 8. Just kind of help propel St. Charles East go 4-0 on the week. That was one that I was kind of wowed by. Sandberg had a pretty solid week, and Quinn Durkin is a sophomore that we need to know. I know Coach Morsavillo reached out to me on him, and sounded like he was clutch all week with 3 multi-hit games. went 12 for 18 with 3 triples, 7 RBIs, 7 runs scored, and 2 stolen bases for a sophomore to do that in games against Lockport, TF South, Joliet West kind of stood out to me. And then I know Coach Mano turned in Cash Kazmarek, a 2025 from Lake Zurich. He's uncommitted still, so like anybody out here looking for an unsigned senior that's performing, he went 4 for 4 with a homer against Normal West and 5 RBIs. And then it really doesn't seem that crazy because of the amount of RBIs that Davis Colley had on the week, but he had 3 home runs on the week with 11 RBIs and 10 runs scored, so he was a main contributor there for Lake Zurich. And yeah, those were just a couple that I was like, wow, I want to talk about these guys.
And then I had 4 performances that really stood out to me. The first one being Enzo Infeliz. Hammy, you kind of touched on him a little bit earlier, but he was my player of the year pick coming into the season. So to see him start to heat up fires me up a little bit. But 7 for 16, had a double, 2 homers, 6 RBIs, and 2 runs scored for Pravi. So, man, if they could really get Enzo hot at the plate, it could really help the Celtics start collecting wins here as they get into CCL Blue play. But next guy, Ethan Bass, 2026, out of Glenbrook North, going to Wake Forest. Had a big week, 7 for 12, 2 bombs, 9 RBI. Patrick Connors over at Hinsdale Central, uncommitted 2026, 7 for 11, a double, 5 runs scored, 6 stolen bases. And then he actually hopped on the mound, had 2 scoreless appearances in relief, 5 innings pitched total on the week, just 1 hit, no runs, and picked up a save along the way. And then last one here, Anderson Kaufman out of Alton. Really talented 2028 for us in the state. Tossed 5 innings, struck out 5, give 3 in a win against number 11 O'Fallon. So helped lead the way there in a big win for Alton. Obviously over a team we're very, very high on in O'Fallon. So shout out to Anderson, man. Hammett is actually going to see him tomorrow. So sorry if I buried the lead there a little bit, but that's what I got.
Well, and how do you even put that? Because, like, he'll have seen, by the time the podcast rolls out, Hammett's going to have some info on Anderson Kaufman, as long as weather holds. But
yeah.
Keep an eye out for Twitter, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I mean, this is all going to be past tense. Like, this is coming on Wednesday.
Yeah, but still.
So,
well, if they missed it, go back, check out the game story from Tuesday. Yeah, should be some good stuff on there.